Hello, my dear students. It is my immense pleasure to welcome you all for this 54th session of your syllabus. Dear students, in this video PPT session, we will have the continuation part of the story, The Child, that has been already explained in your 53rd session. You all have come to know that The Child, a short story written by Premchand, one of the famous writers of Hindi and Urdu language. Before going to start the session, let us have the small recapitulation of the previous class. In our previous class, my dear students, we have come to know information about the author and a brief introduction to the story, and also you have come to know a small gist of the story, The Child. And also we have discussed Gangu's relationship with the Gomti Devi, right? And also you have come to know the major characters. So who is the protagonist of the story here? Gangu is the protagonist and Gomti Devi is another major character, and Gangu marries Gomti Devi. Learning objectives. In this session we are having some learning objectives. The learning objectives are as follows. It will help you to understand the theme of love and its true relationship, and also it will help you to know to frame stories related to their lives and to understand the concepts. And you are having some session outcomes. After learning this session, after coming to know about this session, the outcomes are like this. It will empower you to read and understand the concepts, and also it will help you to critically understand the comprehend the story, and also it will help you to reveal the development of character and various situations in relation to the story. But you don't have to worry about both these slides about learning objectives and session outcomes. Let's study what are all the contents we are going to discuss in our further slides in this session. In this session, the first content we are going to discuss, that is about Gangu's life with Gomti Devi. So in our last session, we came to know that Gangu got married to Gomti Devi, and in this slide, in this content, we are going to know how Gangu was leading his life with Gomti Devi, and also we'll come to know Gangu defends Gomti Devi. So why Gangu is going to defend Gomti Devi? Let's learn in our further slides. And Gomti Devi gives birth to a baby. So this is one another important thing in this story, and also very interesting. The narrator's conclusion. What will be the narrator's conclusion at the end of the story? Also, you'll come to know the session summary, and also you'll have multiple choice questions that you will have to answer yourself, and at last you will find the references. Let's start with the first content, that is Gangu's life with Gomti Devi. Gangu and Gomti Devi are married now. Gangu went to his master. The master is none other than his the narrator of the story, and he went to the narrator and revealed that he was going to get married Gomti Devi. But narrator was very much surprised to hear this news. But actually he thought Gangu might have gone to him to complain about any of the other servants, or to ask for money. But he did not come for both the reasons. He has gone to the narrator telling him that he was going to get married Gomti Devi. But narrator was astonished to hear this. So 5 months passed. Gangu got married to Gomti Devi in spite of this advice of our narrator, but he did not listen to narrator's advice. He got married to Gomti Devi. So he had married Gomti and was living in the mohalla in the thatched hut. There was a mohalla in the village, and they started living in a thatched hut after their marriage. And he started earning. He left a job with the narrator, and he had to do something for his life. So he started earning living as a hawker. So what do you mean by hawker? Hawker is a person who sells uh, things in the street. ಬೀದಿನಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯಾಪಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹಾಕರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. And he was happy and his face had a glow every day. At the very beginning, narrator thought that Gangu will not be happy after getting married to Gomti Devi. But it is reverse in this case. Gangu has become very happy after getting married to Gomti Devi. He had such a glow every day. One day, Gomti Devi leaves Gangu, and the narrator feels satisfied thinking that his words have come true. Initially, Gangu was advised by the narrator not to marry Gomti Devi because narrator was very much sure that one day Gomti is going to leave Gangu. So this happened here. One fine day, Gomti Devi leaves Gangu's house without informing to her. Then the narrator has become very happy that he's thinking that as his words have come true. But Gangu is now upset but still has faith in her. She left him, but Gangu, he could not believe and he was not able to understand why Gomti Devi had left him. But he was very much sure she will come back one day, and she has such a faith in her. Gangu defends Gomti. So this has come, narrator has come to know Gomti Devi has left Gangu, and uh, here we can see a conversation between Gangu and the narrator. Gangu is not ready to leave Gomti Devi. I mean, he is going to defend Gomti Devi. So in front of the narrator, he says, Babuji, because this is a common word in those days. People used to call their masters Babuji. She has not taken anything from his home, anything from his home. So he is defending Gomti Devi. Gomti Devi has not taken anything from his home while leaving the home. So for this reason, Gangu was very much sure she has not cheated him. And he was sure he was not good enough for her. He thinks that he was not good enough for her. He was not a good match to Gomti Devi because she was educated and he was an absolute illiterate. For this reason, she might have left him. So this thought has come in his mind, but the reason was quite different. He also says, whatever she might have been for other men, for me she was definitely a goddess to me. I must have been at fault somewhere that she decided to leave. For any cost, he is not going to blame Gomti Devi. He doesn't want to blame her because he thinks himself that he is not a good match for her because she was well educated. He is an utter illiterate fellow. So that is the reason she might have left. So this was the defend. Like this he was defending Gomti Devi. Gomti Devi gives birth to a child. So the title of this lesson named after the child. So the same child, for the same child, Gomti Devi has given birth. So after the narrator returned from Nainital, so after a few days, narrator was about to go for Nainital and he had spent a few days there. So after a month, he has come back and he saw Gangu standing with a newborn baby. Actually, this was the reason why Gomti Devi had left Gangu. Actually, this newborn baby does not belong to Gangu because already we have come to know that Gomti Devi's personal life was not so good. She had a relationship with so many other men and she had so many husbands. So that is the reason Gomti Devi, actually she was also in love with Gangu honestly, but when she was going to give a birth, she was very much hesitated and she could not face Gangu. But Gangu, he was a very different character here and he was such a good fellow and he is not ready to leave both Gomti and the child. So the narrator has come back from Nainital and he saw Gangu standing with the newborn baby. Again, a new glow has come on his face. He was bursting with joy. He was very happy. Gangu was not the father of that child because Gomti delivered the baby within just few months after marriage. So to deliver a baby, minimum it takes 9 months. But Gomti Devi delivered this baby within just few months. Within 6 months, she gave birth to this child. So that is the reason Gomti Devi could not face Gangu, and without informing him, she had left him. The narrator tries hard to provoke him against Gomti about the illegitimacy of the child. As the child does not belong to the blood of Gangu, the narrator again tries to provoke him. So, why do you want to live with this girl? Why do you want to live with Gomti Devi? Because she has not given birth to your child. This child belongs to some other man. So, in this way, the narrator tried to provoke him, but again, our hero Gangu was not ready to listen to the narrator. The ending of the story, what will happen at the end of the story? Gangu accepts his child as a gift from the god. This has never bothered him. Gangu did not listen to the narrator's words, and he accepts the child as a gift from the god. So look at his behavior and look at his manners, and he is not ready to leave both Gomti Devi and the child. So he thought the child has been given by the god as a gift to him. This has never bothered him. He never bothered about this thing. The child belongs to some other man, or it was born for others. He did not bother about all such things. He thought this was the reason perhaps why Gomti had left the house, and he came to know why actually Gomti Devi had left him and the house. Eventually, the narrator was touched by Gangu's sentiments towards the child. At last, the narrator has changed his mind completely, and he was convinced, and he was quite impressed by the character of Gangu, because Gangu was not ready to leave the child. So here we can see that kind of humanity in Gangu. So even though the narrator tried to provoke him, even though tried to convince him not to live with the Gomti Devi, he did not listen to him. But at last, the narrator was touched by Gangu's sentiments, because he was a sentimental man, sentimental fool. The narrator extended his hands and took the child from Gangu and kissed it, and decided to meet Gomti Devi. Until then, the narrator did not meet Gomti Devi, and he had a very bad notion about Gomti Devi. And at last, the narrator extended his hands and took the child from Gangu. He took the baby from Gangu and kissed it, because he was very much touched by Gangu's sentiments. And at last, he wanted to meet the Gomti Devi, and both of them go to meet Gomti Devi at Gangu's house. Let's see the session summary. So in this session, we have discussed about Gangu and Gomti got married and started living in the Mohalla. And also Gomti leaves Gangu one day without any indication. The narrator feels satisfied thinking that his words have come true. And also we came to know Gangu was upset but still has faith in her. He hoped that she would come back one day. That happened actually. She had come back one day, and she started living with Gangu. And he thought he was not a good match to her. Of course, he was an illiterate fellow, and Gomti Devi was educated, so he thought he was not a good match to her. And at last, the narrator was touched by Gangu's sentiments towards the child. At last, the narrator has changed his mindset, and he took the child from Gangu's hands and kissed the child, and he decided to meet Gomti Devi. So in this slide, in our further slides, we'll have multiple choice questions. So try to answer them. The first question is here: whom did Gangu marry? So it is a very easy question. I think you came to know the answer. Option A is Gomti Devi, option B is Mahadevi, option C is Lakshmi Devi, and option D is Sri Devi. The right answer is Gomti Devi. And here is your second question: what does Gangu live after he gets married? what work he started working, what he started working after after he got married to Gumti Devi. So he worked as a scavenger, option A. Option B is as a hawker. Option C is as a vegetable seller. Option D is as a sweeper. So what is the right answer? The right answer is he started working as a hawker, right? The right answer is B. And here goes your third question. Gangu thought that he was not a good match to Gomti Devi because. So he thought when Gomti Devi left him, so he wanted to find the reason, and finally he thought himself. Option A, he was highly educated. Option B, she was illiterate. Option C, she was educated. Option D, she was poor. And what is the right answer for this question? Of course, she was well educated and he was an illiterate fellow. And here is your fourth question. Where did the narrator go on his personal work? So for which place did the narrator go? To Mumbai, to Nagaland, to Nainital, to Manipur. And what is the right answer? To Nainital. Option C is the right answer. And here it is your last question. What did the narrator decide at the end of the story? So in the ending of the story, what did the narrator decide? He decided to meet Gomti Devi and he decided to give job to Gangu. And option C, he decided to abuse Gomti Devi. And option D is to abuse Gangu. So what did he decide? He decided to meet Gomti Devi. Option A is the right answer. So dear students, by this we have completed the second session of this lesson, and in this last slide you can find the references where I have taken some sources and where I have borrowed the sources as usual from your textbook Innovation Board of Editors approved by the Board of Studies in English, Coimbatore University, and I have borrowed a few informations from www.brainly.com. So we have completed the second session, that is 54th session of your syllabus. In our last we are having another session regarding the same lesson that we will discuss in our next PPT video lecture. Until then, have a good day and take care. Thank you so much.